This story starts with Ethan standing outside a courtroom, hands in his pockets, watching as the cops lead Marcus away in handcuffs. The dude's yelling, "Ethan, man, you got it all wrong." But Ethan just shakes his head and walks off. It's over. His best friend tried to kill him, and now Marcus is going to pay for it. Ethan feels a mix of relief and hurt, but mostly he's just done. "Man, how'd we even get here?" he mutters to himself. Let me tell you how it all started. Before we start, tell us where you are watching from on the comment section. We love our subscribers and wants to know your country. Please drop a comment. A few weeks back, Ethan and Marcus were chilling at Ethan's place, cracking open some cold ones. They'd been buddies since high school, always hyping each other up for crazy stuff. Marcus was the wild one, always chasing thrills, while Ethan was the chill guy who'd tag along to keep him out of trouble. "Yo bro, let's hit up the Congo for a dope adventure," Marcus said, grinning like a kid. "We can check out some wild animals, maybe even film it for kicks." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Congo? That's like super far, man. You sure about this?" "Heck yeah," Marcus laughed. "I heard about this old research spot. Safe as heck, and we'll see some real jungle vibes. Come on, don't be a wuss." Ethan chuckled. "All right, dude, you got me. Let's do it." What Ethan didn't know was Marcus had a dark secret. Back in college, they both had a thing for this girl, Lila. She was cool, funny, and had everyone's eyes on her. Marcus was head over heels, but Lila picked Ethan instead. They dated for a bit, then broke up, no big drama. But for Marcus, that stung bad. He never said a word, just kept it locked inside, letting it rot. Every time he saw Ethan laugh or live his life, it bugged him. Why's he get the good stuff? He'd think, jealousy eating him up. Marcus started planning. He'd heard rumors about this abandoned research place in the Congo, some spot where they used to study gorillas. One name stuck out, Kibo, a huge silverback gorilla, mean as heck and locked up tight. Marcus figured it was the perfect way to get back at Ethan. "I'll set him up, make it look like an accident," he mumbled to himself one night, scrolling online for info. He even paid off a local guide with cash he'd saved up, telling the guy to make sure Kibo was in the cage when they got there. "Just do it, and keep your mouth shut," Marcus said, slipping the guy some bills. A week later, they were on a plane, then a bumpy jeep ride, and finally trekking through the jungle with backpacks and a shaky map. Marcus kept the vibe light. "Yo, Ethan, we're gonna slay this trip," he said, slapping Ethan's back. Ethan just nodded, wiping sweat off his face. "Hope so, man. This heat's killing me." They reached the research spot after a long day. It was this beat-up concrete building, vines hanging everywhere, looking like something out of a horror flick. "Here we go, bro," Marcus said, pointing to a big enclosed area with a heavy door. "This is the spot. We'll camp here, nice and safe." Ethan looked around, a little unsure. "You sure it's cool? Looks kinda sketchy." "Trust me, dude," Marcus said, flashing a big smile. "I got this." They dropped their gear inside. Ethan started setting up the tent, while Marcus acted all busy. "I'll grab some firewood," Marcus said, heading out. Ethan didn't think twice. "Cool, man, don't get lost," he called back, unzipping his pack. But Marcus wasn't getting firewood. He slipped outside, checked the door, and locked it tight with a padlock he'd brought. His heart was pounding. "This is it," he whispered. He'd already told the guide to let Kibo loose in the connecting cage earlier that day. All he had to do was wait for the gorilla to find Ethan. He'll freak, maybe get hurt bad, Marcus thought. If he doesn't make it, oh well. Accident, right? Back inside, Ethan was humming, clueless. He didn't hear the faint creak of the panel or the low growl starting to rumble. He didn't know Marcus was watching through a cracked window, a twisted grin on his face. This was the start of something ugly, and Ethan had no idea what was coming. "Man, where's that firewood?" Ethan said to himself, looking at the door. He figured Marcus was just messing around like always. But deep down, Marcus was hoping this trip would end with Ethan gone, and him free of that old grudge. Little did he know, Ethan was tougher than he thought. As the sun started to dip, Marcus stayed outside, peeking in. "Come on, Kibo, do your thing," he muttered. But the night was just beginning, and things weren't going to go the way he planned. Ethan's life was about to get real, and Marcus's little trap was about to backfire big time. Ethan's still breathing hard, sitting against the cold wall, staring at the massive silverback gorilla curled up in the corner. It's dawn now, and he's alive barely. His hands are shaking, and his voice is hoarse from yelling Marcus's name all night. Outside, Marcus is pacing, looking pissed that his plan didn't work. Ethan's mind is racing. That jerk set me up, he thinks, clenching his fists. How did this even happen? Let me take you back to last night. It all kicked off when Marcus locked that door and bailed. Ethan was inside, messing with the tent, thinking everything was cool. Yo, Marcus, hurry up with that wood, he shouted, laughing a little. But Marcus wasn't coming back. Instead, he was hiding outside, watching through that cracked window, waiting for the show to start. He'd paid that shady guide to let Kibo loose in the connecting cage, and now it was go time. Ethan didn't hear it at first, the soft creak of the panel sliding open. But then came this deep, rumbling growl that made his spine tingle. He froze, dropping the tent pole. What the heck? He whispered, turning around. There it was Kibo, this huge gorilla with silver fur, stepping into the light. The dude was a tank, muscles rippling, eyes locked on Ethan like he was dinner. Ethan's heart jumped into his throat. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Marcus, Ethan yelled, banging on the door. Dude, where are you? There's a freaking gorilla in here. No answer. Just silence, except for Kibo's heavy breathing. The gorilla pounded the ground with his fists, making the whole place shake. Ethan backed up, tripping over the tent. Man, I'm dead, he muttered, panic setting in. Outside, Marcus was grinning, thinking, yeah, this is it. Ethan's toast. He could hear the roars and Ethan's shouts, and it felt good, at first. But then things got weird. Ethan didn't run or fight. Instead, he dropped to his knees, looking down, hands up like he was surrendering. Okay, big guy, I'm not here to mess with you, Ethan said, voice shaky but steady. He remembered some old nature show about gorillas. Don't challenge them, stay chill, and maybe they won't smash you. Kibo tilted his head, snorting loud. He took a step closer, his hot breath hitting Ethan's face. Ethan squeezed his eyes shut, thinking, this is how I go out. But then Kibo just stopped. He huffed, turned, and lumbered to the corner, sitting down like he was bored. Ethan peeked up, stunned. No way, man. No freaking way, he whispered, catching his breath. Marcus, though, was losing it outside. What the heck? Attack him, you dumb ape, he hissed under his breath. He'd figured Kibo would go wild, maybe crush Ethan or at least scare him bad enough to teach him a lesson. But Ethan was still alive, just sitting there, looking freaked but okay. Hours passed, and Marcus kept watching, getting more annoyed. Come on, do something, he muttered, kicking a rock. Inside, Ethan's brain started clicking. The locked door, Marcus ditching him, the gorilla showing up out of nowhere. It wasn't random. That jerk planned this, he said to himself, anger mixing with fear. He stayed put, not daring to move, while Kibo kept an eye on him. Every now and then, the gorilla would grunt, but he didn't charge. Ethan figured he'd lucked out, but he knew he was stuck until morning. The night dragged on, cold and tense. Ethan kept talking to himself to stay calm. You're good, man. Just hang tight. Marcus better have a damn good excuse. He tried the door again, pulling hard, but it wouldn't budge. Locked tight, huh? Real funny, bro, he grumbled. Kibo shifted, making Ethan jump, but the gorilla just lay down, resting his big head on his arms. By the time the first light crept in, Ethan was exhausted. Kibo was asleep, snoring like a truck. Ethan leaned back, heart still pounding. I made it, he said, almost laughing from the craziness. But then it hit him hard. Marcus wasn't coming to save him. This was no accident. His best friend had set him up to face this beast. Outside, Marcus was pacing, mad as heck. Why didn't it work? He muttered. He'd imagined Ethan freaking out, getting hurt, maybe worse. But now, Ethan was still breathing, and Marcus's plan was falling apart. He decided to play it off. Grabbing the key, he unlocked the door, pasting on a fake worried look. Ethan. Bro, thank God. I got lost out there, man, you okay? Ethan stood up, staring at him. His face was dirty, eyes red from crying out earlier, but his voice was ice cold. Lost, huh? Real convenient, dude. Marcus blinked, caught off guard. What you mean, man? I was freaking out looking for you. Ethan didn't buy it. He just nodded, keeping quiet. Inside, he was plotting. I'll figure this out, he thought. You're not getting away with this. As they packed up, Ethan watched Marcus close. He wasn't saying much, but his mind was working. Marcus kept chatting like nothing happened. Man, that was wild, right? Lucky break. Ethan forced a smile. Yeah, lucky, he said, voice flat. He knew the truth now, and he was going to make Marcus pay, somehow. Ethan's walking down the city street right now, the sun shining, but his mind's still back in that jungle cage. He's got a small smirk, knowing Marcus is locked up tight in a cell, yelling his head off about how unfair it is. The cops took him away an hour ago, and Ethan just handed over the proof, receipts, photos, the whole deal. Got what you deserved, bro, he mutters under his breath, kicking a pebble. It's over, but man, it stings to lose a friend like that. Let me tell you how it all went down. After that crazy night with Kibo, Ethan and Marcus started the trek back. Marcus was acting all buddy-buddy, like nothing happened. Man, that was insane, right? We're legends now, he said, slapping Ethan's shoulder. Ethan just nodded, keeping his cool. Yeah, real wild, he said, voice low. Inside, he was boiling. He knew Marcus set him up, and he wasn't letting it slide. They hiked through the jungle, sweaty and quiet most of the time. Marcus kept yapping about the trip, trying to play it off. Dude, I thought that gorilla was going to eat us both. Good thing I found my way back. Ethan just grunted, watching him close. That's when he noticed Marcus's pack was unzipped a bit. Peeking inside while Marcus wasn't looking, Ethan saw a crumpled receipt. It had the guide's name and a cash amount, way more than a regular tip. What the heck? Ethan whispered, slipping it into his pocket. Later, when they stopped to rest, Ethan got sneaky. He pulled out his phone and snapped some pics of the facility's layout Marcus had printed out. The map showed the observation area and that hidden panel, proof Marcus knew what he was doing. Yo, Marcus, you got water? He asked, distracting him. Marcus tossed him a bottle, clueless. Sure, man, drink up. Ethan smirked inside. Gotcha, he thought. The whole way back, Ethan played it cool. He didn't call Marcus out, just acted like the loyal friend. Man, we gotta tell this story back home, he said, forcing a laugh. Marcus grinned. Heck yeah, bro. We're heroes. But Ethan was done trusting him. Every step, he planned how to nail Marcus with this. Back in the city, Ethan didn't waste time. He went straight to the cops, laying it all out. My buddy tried to kill me, he said, sliding the receipt and photos across the table. The officer raised an eyebrow. You sure about this, kid? Ethan nodded hard. Dead sure. Check it out. They did, and it didn't take long to connect the dots. The guide spilled everything when they tracked him down, admitting Marcus paid him to set Kibo loose. Marcus got the call to come in for questioning. He showed up, all cocky. What's this about, officers? Me and Ethan had a little adventure, that's all. But when they showed him the evidence, his face dropped. That's fake. Ethan's lying, he shouted. Ethan just stood there, arms crossed. Tell it to the judge, dude, he said, voice steady. The cops arrested Marcus right there, slapping cuffs on him. Attempted manslaughter, man. You're done, one officer said. Marcus freaked. Ethan, bro, come on. We're tight. This is a mistake. Ethan shook his head. Not anymore, man. You crossed the line. As they dragged Marcus away, he kept yelling, but Ethan didn't look back. Sitting in the station later, Ethan thought about it all. That night with Kibo flashed back, the roars, the fear, the betrayal. I trusted you, man, he mumbled, rubbing his face. Losing Marcus hurt, but surviving that cage made him stronger. He wasn't the same guy who'd follow his buddy anywhere. No more blind trust, he told himself. Walking out, Ethan felt lighter. The city buzzed around him, people going about their day, but he was in his own world. He thought about Lila, about how this all started with some dumb jealousy. Sucks it ended like this, he said to the air. But he knew he'd done the right thing. Marcus could rot in there for all he cared. A week later, Ethan got a letter from the court. Marcus was charged, trial coming up. He tossed it on the table, not even opening it. Done deal, he said, cracking a beer. He wasn't going to let this mess define him. Maybe he'd take another trip someday, but this time, he'd pick his crew better. As he sipped, Ethan looked out the window. The sun was setting, and for the first time in weeks, he felt okay. Life goes on, man, he said, leaning back. Marcus was gone, Kibo was back in the jungle, and Ethan? He was going to be all right. No more cages, real or otherwise.